Barron Trump guides his father as they both attend funeral of Melania's mother in Florida. Barron Trump, 17, stood beside Donald Trump outside church at grandmother Amelia Knobs' funeral. He has touched the sky above the all and 4 inches taller than his ex-president father, who at 6 feet, 3 inches is a towering figure himself. Family came together to mourn Knobs, who died at 78. Youngest son Barron is now comfortably the tallest in the family, towering over his father. At his grandmother's funeral they mourned Melania Trump's mother Amelia Knobs, who died on January 9 aged 78. Barron, now 17, stands at 6 feet, 7 inches, taller even than his ex-president father, who at 6 feet, 3 inches is a towering figure himself. The teenager stood beside Donald Trump, Melania, and Knobs' widower Victor, dwarfing all three as they waited for the coffin to arrive on Thursday morning. Barron's 4-inch height advantage over his father was obvious from the moment they got out of the car together, as the boy put a guiding hand on Trump's arm. Melania in her eulogy gushed about her mother's love for her grandson Barron, whom she showered with affection, illuminating his world with love, tender care and unwavering devotion. Saying she was the epitome of elegance and grace, and that she was the essence of a true woman. Her love for her husband, Victor, my father, Ines, my sister, and me was boundless, Trump said. Her nurturing spirit had no limits, creating a legacy that will last for generations. She showered her grandson, Barron, with affection, illuminating his world with love, tender care and unwavering devotion. She embodied the best mother, wife, grandmother, mother-in-law, a true beacon of love and luxury in our lives. Melania Trump described the world as seeming to shimmer with radiant joy when her mother was near. She described her closeness with her mother, saying that she was a friend and confidant, and the mother-daughter pair shared an unbreakable bond. Her mother taught her to cook, and fostered her love of fashion. Trump credited his son's impressive growth to Knobs' traditional Slovenian cooking at a campaign. "That's how he got so tall, he only ate her food," he joked to the crowd of supporters. "I said, you're gonna be a basketball player." He said, "Well, I like soccer, Dad, actually. But you can't talk them into everything." Barron was a special boy. Barron is said to have a close bond with his grandmother, who along with Victor taught him to speak Slovenian as he grew up. Bojan Pozar wrote in his book Melania Trump, The Inside Story, the potential First Lady, that Barron almost certainly speaks Slovenian with. Ines, his aunt, who also lives in New York. Ines Knobs was the one who took care of all the paperwork at the Slovenia consulate in New York so that Barron could formally acquire Slovenian citizenship, he added. Barron is believed to be the first son of a president to have dual citizenship. Mourners joined Melania and her father Victor Thursday morning at the same picturesque Palm Beach church where she married Trump nearly 2 decades earlier. The former president flew into Florida in the early hours to be at his wife's side, the pair following closely behind the hearse in one of around a dozen black SUVs, arriving just after 10 a.m. Melania and Trump were accompanied by Barron, while Knobs' widower Victor looked visibly upset but paused to compose himself before joining the others. They walked slowly towards the church as a foursome, in complete silence, dozens of agents looking on, the 3 men wearing black suits and ties and Melania in a black suit jacket, black skirt and a silver cross around her neck. Reverend Tim Schenck, who joined Bethesda as rector in 2022, stood at the church entrance waiting to greet them with a somber nod of the head and some brief words of comfort. Melania remained stoic and expressionless behind her black jumbo sunglasses as all 4 turned in unison to watch as Knobs' coffins, bedecked with a dazzling display of white roses, orchids and lilies, was carried from the street to the church. Finally they all turned to go inside, the coffin entering behind them, passing another huge pink and white floral display comprised of roses, carnations and daisies. Sighed as she gave the eulogy. Melania's voice cracked from the podium as she said, "Rest in peace, my beloved mother." Her nurturing spirit had no limits, creating a legacy that will last for generations, she said. With her beauty and impeccable sense of style she turned heads. But it was her unwavering dedication and hard work that made her exceptional. Melania maintained her steely composure as she emerged from church, watching in silence as the coffin was carried outside, flanked by pallbearers and clergy. As the procession reached the road and she watched her mom being loaded back into the hearse, Trump reached out and tenderly squeezed his wife's hand. She left in the same vehicle as her dad while Trump followed in another SUV, giving a nod of gratitude to Secret Service agents who closed the road to ensure a smooth getaway for mourners. The Trumps have been regulars at the 125-year-old chapel since Melania wed then real estate mogul Donald there in 2005 in front of VIP guests including Hillary and Bill Clinton. A year later, Barron was christened at the Gothic Revival-style venue, which is less than 3 miles from Trump's Swish, Florida residence, Mar-a-Lago. The Trumps also attended several Christmas services there throughout his presidency. Amelija Novs was born in Austria, and lived there and in Slovenia throughout her childhood. She met her husband in 1966, and they had their 2 daughters, Melania in 1970, and Ines in 1968. Melania Trump was born Melanija Novs but adopted an alternate spelling of her name, Melania Naus, when she began her modeling career. Over the past decade, her parents traveled frequently to the U.S. from Slovenia. Melania Trump sponsored their green cards, and in 2018 the couple became U.S. citizens during a ceremony in New York City. With each step she took, she embraced the privilege bestowed upon her and, in time, the privilege of becoming a U.S. citizen, Melania Trump said during Thursday's service. She vowed to contribute to make a difference in the world. Filled with uncertainty, she knew an exquisite sense of pride as my husband became the President of the United States.